Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm rising in the House today to speak because it's the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And I will echo the words that the Minister used, that the situation is horrific and completely unacceptable. Cette journée, la Journée internationale pour l'élimination de la violence à l'égard des femmes, on a beaucoup de journées et ça devient frustrant parce que toujours c'est éduquer et sensibiliser la population. Et oui, c'est important de faire ça, mais il faut faire beaucoup plus. Education and awareness is not enough, and it hasn't been enough, and people are still being killed. And we're talking about, we need to have an intersectional approach and understand that women of color and people in the LGBTQ+ community are at higher risk of violence. But here we are with systemic problem, and we need to have systemic responses. And violence doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have toxic masculinity. We have, and it's always women speaking about these things, and I don't want men to speak for women, but men need to speak up too. We need to target the inequity and the systems of oppression that create the conditions for so much violence to happen. And we need to have the systemic policies change. We need pay equity. We need women to be able to afford housing. We need them to be paid fairly. We need the crisis interveners for emergency situations to be paid fairly. These are things that could be done, that could help people, and yet they are not being done. And government after government fails to do them. We can do better. We can do better than talking about it a few times a year on special days and saying, we need to educate, we need to raise awareness. Of course, but that's the bare minimum. So what else is going to be done? Are we going to pay women fairly? Are we going to make sure they have housing? Are we going to make sure that they can actually get out of violent situations? And are the men in this province going to address the toxic masculinity and actually do something about it? Because what we're talking about for the most part is men killing women. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.